Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are once again in Roblox. I just kind of wanted to, I set up the mine here, and I've got a pile of dirt and some sand and some rocks over here, which are probably going to be like gravel or something like that, eventually. So what I wanted to do was, on the tractor, just move this for a second. I'm going to set this up here. This is going to be like the dirt effect. And I want it to be like rocks, and I want it to be, to be all those things. So when it comes in contact with this part, which is going to be in front of those piles, it's going to change color and it's going to do stuff. So this kind of video is just going to be a short little video. Yeah, I'm kind of losing my voice here with the cold. Whatever, it'll be a couple of days. So you'll probably get some satisfactory uploads. That'll be that. So yeah, so I just wanted to just sort of go through. So we have a model here, right? And inside the model, we have a whole bunch of parts, okay? And what I want to do is I want to change the color of all the parts at one time. So how do we do that? Well, we just need a little bit of code in order to do that. We're going to do two things. We're going to use the touched function. So right now, I believe when this block drops over this, it's going to make that go invisible. So let's just see how that works. Yeah, look at that. Made it invisible. So how do we do that? Right? Because two ways. You either have to put a script into every single part and to tell it what to do when it gets hit by this object here, or we can just use a little bit of code which allows us to sort through the entire folder. It allows us to sort through the entire folder and allows us to interact with each part that comes into contact. So what I've done here, we're just going to rewrite this just so it makes sense. All right? So we just obviously will put the weight in there, okay, of 0.1. And then what we're going to do is we need to say where is the folder or the model where all the parts are that we want to be affected. So we say local. In this case, I used S lighting because I took the code from the lighting and I just kind of looked through it to see how I could change it around. But in this case, we could say parts, right? We could say stuff equals, and we can say script.parent.parent. Oops. Okay, because right now this script is inside this part, so we need to go .parent.parent, which is where all these other parts are, and then we need to say get children. So it'll find everything that's inside that model, everything that we want to put in there. All right, and then we're going to say we're going to add the touched part. So we need to say function. Let me see, on touched, like that, and then we'll say hit. Okay, and then we'll say if hit.name is if hit.name is equal to, and I say dirt, okay, D-I-R-T. Then what we're basically doing here is we're adding checks to the code. Right? We're adding checks to the code, and we're saying, okay, so now we've hit it, and the name of it is dirt. So then we want to say local key equals dirt, I-R-T. We want to say, oops, key equals hit.key, okay, hit.key. All right, and then so what I've done here is I have a part, and then inside that part I have a string value, and I've added the name to the string value. So it's going to do two things. It's going to check to make sure that the part it's coming into contact with has the name. Then it's also going to make sure that the value within that part is the name that we want. So it's like a double check, you know. So that way, if you have one part that's going to be interacting with multiple other parts in the world, you can. The best thing to do is to add the key value, and that way it's concrete. You know, it's always going to function in the way that you want it to, because it's always going to read that value, and it's not going to go, oh, I have two separate objects here, but they're both named dirt. So we're going to do the same thing to both objects, which is in some cases something that we don't want to do. So that's basically that, right? So then we say if key if key dot value is equal to, and then whatever that name is, right? In this case, I named it dirt. I will say then. Now, here's where we need a little bit of code to sort through the model. So this bit of code is going to find all the parts, right? So we're being hit by an object that's named dirt, and it has a string value in it that's also named dirt. And now we're going to say for I, v in pairs, and then what we need to do is we need to list, we're basically saying this is the folder that we want it to go through. So we need to say stuff, okay, do, just like that, okay. For IV in pairs, stuff, do. And that basically means it's going to find the folder, and it's going to find everything in that folder. And then you can say, well, what do you want it to do? And we can say, well, stuff, I, which is the index. And then we want to say dot material, right? So now what it's going to do is it's actually going to read all the children. And it's going to say, okay, now we have all this data that we can read from there. So now we can change all the data in here that we want to for every single part. So we want all the material, what did I say, enum, dot material, this equals, I wanted to say mud. And then I also, let's do the F's. All right. Then we want to go stuff, which is just your folder, okay? I dot, and then what I say, transparency is what I have for here. Transparency equals 1. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll get rid of this code here. So now I've replaced that code with the code that we just wrote. All right, and now when this object falls over top of all of these objects, all those objects are going to change in the way they're going to disappear. And they didn't disappear. And you know why? Because I forgot to end the touched. Where do I need? I need this here. Script parent.touch, connect function on touch. We need to add that in the end there. All right, there we go. Unknown global. Script parent.touched. Oh, spelled that wrong. There we go. All right, let's try that one. Let's try that one more time. Well, one of them went to dirt, but I said transparency is not a TRANSPARENCY. Yeah, there we go. Yes. Worked. Worked. It's rolling around. It worked. All right. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So I mean, like, it's kind of an example. Let's change, instead of making it changing the transparency. Let's say stuff. Let's change the color of it, right? And we will say dot brick color. Brick OR, is that right? Yeah. Equals, and then we say brick color dot new. And let's make it red. All right, so now when it hits it, all of them are going to go. There we go. That's a better example. So you see, it turned them all to mud, and it made them all red. Yeah, so I just wanted to sort of, I don't know what I'm going to name this video yet, but I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. Just if you're wondering, you have a model and it has a lot of parts in it, and you want to change all, some of the parts within that model, but you don't want to have a million scripts, this is the easiest way to do it. That all you need to do is find where in the workspace. It could be any folder, wherever it is. And you can say get children or whatever. And inside that folder, everything that's inside that folder, you'll be able to manipulate in this way. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Like I said, it's just a quick little video, this one here. That's it. I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.